Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Pretend Problems Podcast. I'm CD White.
And I am Rita Rudner.
You didn't go with the Kelsey.
No, I panicked. I'm still, if you listen to last episode, we ended on a high note of destruction. And so I'm still thinking about that. For you, it's been a week. For me, it's been about 14 minutes. We changed our tops. I changed my hat. I put socks on. And, we had a conversation about it.
Yeah. Doing this podcast is so interesting. And I'm sure we'll talk more about stuff like this on our Patreon when it's up. But like, it's so fun to do a podcast with your partner.
True.
And it's also like, imagine that this is real life, right? Like, you can have like serious conversations with your partner and then be like, well, we also have to go record a podcast again. So now there are microphones in front of our faces and a camera on that we're just posting to the world of like, hi.
Yeah.
It makes me laugh thinking of couples who don't podcast together, the vast majority of couples, and that's like a fucking nightmare.
The steps we took, we bought this house, as you know, there were no window treatments in any of the windows. Yeah. And we took time, we hired someone to come put blinds on the really big ones. I put blinds up in several of the rooms. And then after we had the blinds, we were like, fuck it. Let's buy a camera. And let's put it out there anyways. Our neighbors don't get to watch for free, but we will start a Patreon and we will tell everyone our stuff.
Tell everyone our business. So the thing that we talked about, and I do want to read this particular ADHD email later because I find it very interesting, but I think I have a hard time when, like, sometimes you'll use humor to like diffuse a situation.
Most of the time. Very funny.
You're very funny, man.
I'm panicking.
Don't panic. And, but sometimes also, whether you have ADHD or not, and I know that you know this about you.
You know this, man.
You can be king of the snark.
I can be snarky. Listen, I'm a bitch. I've said it a bunch of times. I'm not denying it. I'm not, it's gotten me punched in the face. I am a bitch. And sometimes my brain runs hot and it runs quickly. Though that's a bad combination sometimes because when I think of something that brings my little odometer into the red zone and my brain's already going fast, then I go, yeah, well, what do you think about this? And then that's no fun for anyone. But not the person I'm saying it to, not me later.
But you in the moment gets dopamine.
No idea.
Don't you feel a little whoop, just said something little?
I for sure don't feel a whoop. I just feel like a really old man with a top hat that says, well, that's that then. Like that. That's what I don't feel a whoop.
Oh.
I just feel like hey, this certain thing I don't like, this certain thing reminded me of it, and I'm going to tell the world about it.
Which I really appreciate.
It's so fun.
Well, that's the thing too, is like, it's hard to like, this is our real relationship. And we come on the show and we want to be vulnerable and like have fun and connect with you guys. But we also like really protect and care about our relationship.
That's true.
And like the way we speak about it and stuff.
I've never worked this hard in any relationship, parenting, but in any romantic relationship. And this is probably isn't like fair to other people, but it's like I never worked this hard. And so sometimes when I fuck up, I feel it a little more now. I feel the fuck up a little bit more because I go, man, that's old habits. What are you doing? I do feel that sometimes.
Oh, that's interesting. Thanks for telling me that.
Well, you're welcome, I guess.
Yeah.
But, so If you didn't see last episode, right? So somebody asked,
cliffhanger.
what rap song would you give to the other person? I think, right?
Yeah.
And you said, I love when you call me Big Papa, which is disgusting. And then I said, I have one, but it would cost World War III, which
In our relationship.
and you don't know that? No.
That's
okay.
what you said.
I know, I'm just teasing. Hindsight, it hasn't been that long. I know it's been a week for you, but it's been fucking 18 minutes for me now. And I just know, like, that's not something that I need to say out loud. Here's what I'll tell you this. It popped into my head, and then I go, well, I should giggle about it. I should giggle, and then just shut the fuck up. But giggle to myself, by the way. Because let me tell you something else that I can, if you deal with anything that I am dealing with, like with you say it when you shouldn't say it, giggling, also not going to help. Because they know you thought of it. So giggle to yourself. If you have to leave the room, leave the fucking room. I am the king of giggling, and she goes, what? And then I'll go, nothing. That's probably even worse. So I do know that this is a shithead move to just say, it's like dangling. It's like dangling something. It's not nice. I'm not saying this because I feel like I'm in any sort of trouble, but I do care about you. I do care about our relationship, and I think dangling is mean.
Thank you.
And so I would love to figure that out. But you know what's really hard is I hang out with my friends, and they are, a lot of them, lightning quick too. Even the non-comedians.
Yeah.
Lightning quick. And we talk so much shit to each other.
Yeah.
And so that muscle is still being flexed and still being exercised.
Oh.
And so it's almost like if you are an alcoholic, the only thing you really need to do, well, is get right with Jesus, but also quit drinking. But if you have an addiction to food, that's so complicated because you have to eat to fuel your body.
Right.
You have to do the thing you're addicted to, but you have to do it in a certain way that doesn't hurt you.
Yeah.
And so that, I feel like this is more of a food addiction where I'm still going to do it with my friends. There's just no way I'm going to sit there and take that beating and fucking go, well, I'm just not doing it because I love my girlfriend. Guys, that's enough. I'm not going to sit there and do that because I can mop up with those motherfuckers. And so I like to do it.
I know you can.
And, but then that is hard because it continues to get flexed and exercised. And I come back here and I don't want to do that. And then sometimes I do it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, I knew what I was doing when I said that. So I'm not saying it just popped out and I fucking blacked out. That's not what happened. I knew what I was doing, but I do wish I could take it back. And I will, moving forward, only try to do it once a day.
Fuck you.
No, but moving forward, I will try to, maybe we should get a snark check by the door.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's like, doesn't feel great when you do it to me. Feels a billion times worse when you do it to me on the podcast, because that feels like you're not, like, there's a care that goes into it.
I do know like, that.
You know.
So, but I also want you to know that when I do it on the podcast, it's not like I'm trying to go fuck you in front of all these people.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, I guess, like, and I know we've talked about this before and it's the wrong way to do it, but to make it a little more interesting, make people go, ooh. And
I get that. It can't be at the expense of our relationship.
That's true, because then there wouldn't be a podcast to go, ooh.
Yeah.
I don't think you and I are going to do this one on Zoom from our new places.
No. Yeah. Yeah. This is, again, I know that, like, you don't have an ADHD diagnosis, but I do feel like all these conversations we've had have been helpful to go, like, oh, our brains work completely differently.
Way differently. And we were raised completely differently.
Completely differently.
I mean, if at my grandparents' house with my cousins and my sister, and even my mom is sharp as her tongue can cut. And so if you weren't on high alert, you were in trouble. So, and you, I feel like when you were growing up, home was, I mean, whatever, everybody has their things, but home, you never had to worry about like getting slammed.
No.
Verbally.
No.
Right.
Yeah. There were its own challenges growing up, but yeah, my parents were never like verbally abusive toward me, physically abusive toward me, anything like that.
Right.
So, and also we just talked about this, like I didn't watch my, I have like very young memories of my mom and dad fighting before they got divorced, but my dad and stepmom would like go, like they never fought in front of us if they fought. And so that was another, like, I think pretty big difference is your tolerance for fighting and like raised voices and word choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is like,
it's way
you have
up
a
there.
very high threshold for it. And for me, I'm like very sensitive to that stuff where it's like, whoa, that's totally off limits.
A raised voice for you is off limits. A raised voice for me is, I just have to wait this out.
Yeah.
Because this is going to go away and then dinner or whatever.
Yeah. And it's just part of life.
Makes it sound like I had the worst fucking childhood. I did not. But it was a little louder in our house than it was in your house.
Yeah.
Can I say something about your dad and your stepmom?
Yeah.
Guess who got a picture up? Boom, 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 boom. They're probably taking it down now. I got a picture up in the family picture shelf area with you.
Yes.
That's not just a solo picture of me and my thong. But they showed it to me right before we left. God, it's getting serious up in this bitch.
Yeah, make you feel nice.
It made me feel so nice. And we bought a house together. That's a pretty big commitment, but a fucking picture at the folks' place? I don't know.
It's a big deal.
Ah, man. I should have checked to see if they left your graduation picture in there.
Just in case.
Yeah,
it's a quick.
Just so they had it to take it out. But yeah, that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, it was really nice. I loved it. Do you want to talk about the therapy part of that conversation?
Sure, yeah.
Just because I think this is potentially relatable for other people in a relationship, and even if you're not, maybe someday it will be relatable.
Yeah, you're about to get another example of me being a dick, what we just talked about.
So...
Well, that's true.
Do you feel like I'm piling on right now?
I don't feel like you're piling on, but I just wanted to warn them because I like therapy. We're about to learn something. You're not. You're about to hear me be a dick another time.
So, this whole sort of like the remark that's a bit of like oh, okay, now like I don't know what he's referring to, but it seems like it's mean. And that just automatically makes me feel bad. So
yeah, may I?
Yeah.
On my tombstone, which I won't have because I'm getting cremated, but it should probably say, "I didn't need to say that," or I could have left that. I could have left that part out.
Yes, for sure.
But, sometimes my inner child gets flicked in the back of the ear, and it just.
So Chad and I are both in individual therapy, and we, it's like, it's no mystery that we will talk about each other sometimes in there. And I think that should be normalized in relationships, that like it is healthy to have a space outside of your partner to vent feelings.
Yeah.
Right?
What the fuck else are you going to therapy for? I mean, I know there's other shit, but the relationship, 100%. Because we used to go out and have dinners, big family dinners, whatever it was, and we could spout about these things and get them off our chest. And now that's kind of fallen to the wayside a bit, right?
Yeah.
We're on our phones. We FaceTime. Nobody wants to fuck up a FaceTime with stuff like that. And so that's why therapy has become so big, because we're not really talking to our friends about that stuff or our family about that stuff anymore.
Right.
And so it has to be somewhere. And I think for a lot of us, it falls on the therapist's ears.
Totally. So, which I think is healthy and good, but Chad and I have realized that it's kind of hard to navigate when a therapy session is done for either of us. We're the type of people that are like, oh, how did that go? Because we just ask that about each other for like all our day-to-day stuff. Like, oh, how did that go? Tell me how that went. And for me, anytime Chad's asked, oh, how was therapy? If it's a session where like I felt like I wanted to vent about the relationship, I'll just be like, yeah, it was good. And that's the truth. It's like, it was a good session, but there's no need to say, well, really got some stuff off my chest. It's like anything like that. That's just like, well, that's the anti-therapy. That's like creating a new problem. Sure. So, we had a time recently where I asked Chad, hey, how was therapy? And he gave his little grin.
Sometimes I can't help it. Sometimes I mean it. The giggle, I'm being a dick. The grin, sometimes you cannot help your face smiling.
But I feel like with that stuff, at least with me, I really am like any sort of, it feels passive aggressive. It feels like any little indication of like,
but my grin, sometimes it's like when you can't help smiling, it's like church giggles. I don't know what you want me to say about that. I'm emotionally electric, and you know that.
High vibration.
Yes, and sometimes I can't turn the smile off. The giggle can be stopped, and sometimes I choose not to. The smile, the grin, sometimes is like, it's maybe like, I don't know. It's just like like I got caught eating cookies when I wasn't supposed to or something.
Okay.
It's that kind of thing where you go, how was therapy? And I know I talked about you, and I go, no. That's just what my face does. Yeah.
So anyway, that particular day, he reacted kind of like that. And then I had asked him again later, like, hey, I don't want to know anything unless you like want to tell me. But just like, you gave kind of a weird reaction, like, are you okay? And you said, well, I talked about you for part of it, and I don't think you would like to hear those things.
Right.
And that just was this tough, like, yeah, no, I don't want to hear those things. But it then just made me feel bad about myself. Mm-hmm. When it didn't really need to, because I just don't feel like that's like, what good does that do?
Yeah. March 2nd, 1975 to June 12th, 2024.
Hey,
I could have left that part out.
Hey, that scares me. Don't say stuff like that. We can't put stuff like that in the universe. Erase it.
Well, that's when this episode's coming out.
Oh.
That's why I said that.
I still don't like it.
Okay.
I'm just being playful, but yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so after that, I said, how do you feel about going forward when we tell each other, oh, I've got therapy today? We just don't ask anymore, how did therapy go? But there's just an understanding of like, if there was something talked about in therapy that we found helpful, whether it's about the relationship or not, and we want to share it, that we just will take it upon ourselves to share it. And that way we're not putting each other in that position of like, how was therapy? And if we did talk about each other, having to be like, oh, it was great. And kind of like not give the other person an indication of, oh yeah, well, that stuff.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. Can I talk about the belt?
Yeah.
So she had this belt for our word games. Mm-hmm. And we're
puzzles.
Recording back-to-back episodes, which is pretty fucked up because now obviously she has it again because it's been 27 minutes.
Yes.
But you know what she's not the champion of? Driving long distances.
I'm so bad at it, but I just figured out a big thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited to. Go ahead.
I just figured out cruise control.
Take it in, everybody. Am I allowed to be a dick about this? Because I'm going to be.
Okay.
Fucking cruise. She just figured out cruise control. I don't know if your dad or stepmom listen to this podcast, but if they do, shame on you two. What are you even... She doesn't know how to use cruise control? First, let me tell you this. Spokane, here's how they made the roads in Spokane. Someone went in the back seat, they put a blindfold on them, and they go, tell us when you want to turn. And he was like, take a left right now. And that's how the fucking town was mapped out. It's the dumbest town road-wise. Lovely city. But road-wise, it is absolutely unacceptable how it works there. Yeah. And so I guess I understand you wouldn't use cruise control in town. But I feel like you were driving back and forth at one point to Cheney on the interstate. And you would want to use...
Yeah, I mean, that also wasn't that long. I will also say...
Long enough to hit cruise control?
Oh, maybe. I don't think my cars in the past necessarily had cruise control. I know you're saying that you think it's in every car. I don't know if it was.
Cruise control was introduced in 1948. So I'm assuming, right? I was in 9th grade. I remember it coming out. And yes, your cars had it.
Okay.
It's
I
like
won't
a
fight you
safety
on it.
feature.
I'm not...
It's like you going, well, it was extra for seatbelts, so I didn't get them. That's not how that works. Because cruise control is a safety feature. I don't think it's an extra. Maybe it is. Maybe people are going to write in and be like, hey, fucking relax. You don't know everything.
I don't.
I know I don't know everything. Almost, but not everything.
Oh my God. That will be on your tombstone. Chad, I know almost everything, Daniels.
Ugh. No, you have to do it how I did it. You have to say, Chad, I don't know everything. ... Almost, but not everything. Daniels.
Yeah.
That's going to be a fucking big tombstone. Hope you're ready to fork out the cash for that one, sucker.
You're getting cremated. We don't have to worry about it.
Oh, okay. Love how you think I'm going to go first. What we were saying? So
I don't like thinking about it. Either one's horrible.
But yeah, so tell them the story about... I'd like to start.
Great.
We're on the phone, and she goes, can you help me figure out cruise control? And I was like... Is this a joke?
And then I finished that sentence with, Big Papa.
Oh my God. And then I vomited on my chest. And then I had some shit to get off my chest. So she calls me and she's like, can you help me figure out cruise control? I'm like, you have to send me a picture of your steering wheel. I was just disgusted by what I said. It was so unfunny and so ridiculous and so unacceptable. And I would love to take it back. And I want to say, Justin, cut it out. But we're not gonna, because listen, anyone that says I don't know everything, almost, but not everything, deserves to have the least funny thing said ever on a podcast not get edited out. So we're leaving it in.
It's funny.
No, it wasn't. In my opinion. Okay. So I have her send
me. No,
it
wasn't, period.
I said
hard fact, in my opinion.
Oh. So that is a good way to get out of it. You will shut your fucking mouth, in my opinion. Oh, wow. I can start using that.
It's the new no offense.
Grocery stores. Oh, you know what else is another thing? Anytime she wants to start a fight, I go, save it for the podcast. Oh my God. This podcast has saved us. Okay. So she calls me and she says, I want to learn cruise control. I send me a picture of the steering wheel. And then I go, okay, when you get to the certain thing, well, you push this right away to power it on and it'll come up on your dash. And then when you get to the mile per hour you want, you just hit that button that says set. And then you can use the plus and minus if you need to. But I think hers is smart cruise control, where it comes up on a car, it slows down a little bit. And now I'm going to pass the reins to you.
Okay. Which I didn't know.
If you know how to use them.
Yes.
Okay.
That was funny. I had a fear of using cruise control because although I haven't seen the movie Speed, I felt like
Pop quiz, hotshot.
Felt like, what if this car malfunctions and the speed I'm set at continues even if I'm hitting the brakes, and that's how I die. I don't know how they make a car. Like, don't you ever worry that could happen?
I've never even thought about it one time until you just brought it up. And I've seen the movie Speed so many times.
It just seemed like a scary possibility to me. I don't know. I just freaked myself out. But the back and forth drive between here and the cabin is like just under 3 hours. And man, every time I would do it without cruise control, it's like my foot, maybe like my Achilles heel, it's really sore by the time I get to the cabin and back, because it's just like you're constantly having to fluctuate the gas pedal and like keep it steady. You know how people drive without cruise control.
I was going to say, I think there are a lot of people sighing right now.
I'm sorry. Listen. Well, maybe not, because maybe everybody's been using cruise control and you don't remember the feeling in your foot of not using it for a long car drive.
That could be. But
anyway, I was brave and I got on the highway and I figured it out. And I was like, this is delightful. Oh my God. It was so fun. It really just like, I got to the cabin and I was like, oh my God, I love cruise control.
Yeah. And I had to tell everyone, she's just come out of a coma.
Yeah. I love your joke about Isaac talking like a foreign exchange student. And it feels like that's a little bit in that category where it's just like, why have you not tried that yet?
Yeah. Yeah, but I guess I understand. So I told her, like any good boyfriend would, you want to definitely use cruise control when it's raining a lot, and definitely use it when it's icy. Because that'll help you stay on the road. That's what I've told her. I'm winking if you're listening.
He did actually do the exact opposite, and I kind of love it when you're like, but you absolutely cannot use it if there's any, like, you really went, it's gross because you went dad mode. And so but I do think women.
Should we do dates?
I think women. Stop. I think women, daddy issues or not, they like when their partner takes care of them.
Sure. Okay. I'm pro-choice, and I'd like to abort this topic.
Okay.
Can I tell one story about me being in the car?
Yeah, I hope you would.
So I've been working on, obviously, some stuff, right? Anger. I have been using my options. God, it's interesting. You are saying, like, I'm making fun of you for not using cruise control, which is something you would learn at 16. And I'm doing I'm learning my options, like something you do when you're fucking 4 or 3.
Emotional regulation.
Yeah. And so I'm in the grocery store. I pull into a spot. And as I'm pulling into a spot, the person on the other side of the spot where I would match up bumpers comes into mine. They're doing I'm not going to back up. I am going to go through the open parking space in front of me. Yeah. Which technically, illegal. If we want to get into it, it's illegal because it's a solid line. However, who hasn't done that, right? And so the guy immediately, he honks, throws his hands in the air, and I give him one finger. I go, hold on. I get it. I back out. And then I pull kind of lengthwise into 2 handicap parking spots just as a holding area. Mm-hmm. And then he comes past me, and he goes, puts his hand up, and he's like, sorry about that. And I was like, oh, it's good to be on the other side of this for once. Because I'm normally the sorry about that guy. And so that was very fun. But because I had done that, the universe rewarded me. I had the perfect angle. I was the only one in this parking lot that saw a guy pick his nose, and it was not crust on the rim. He went up fucking COVID test style and got one from behind the eyeball. And he pulled it out, and then, did he eat it? Not yet. He looked at it as if to say, you'll do, and then ate it. So then I honked my horn for sure and pointed and went, oh my God, you are eating your boogers. And then he went, what? He went full panic, 2 hands on the wheel, and then took off. And I still was honking. It was so great. So now I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to honk my horn out of anger anymore, just out of pure fucking joy and awesomeness.
Oh, out of boog munching?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's so good.
I can't believe you honked at him and pointed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was like, I got you, bitch. I caught you. You think you're in this zone where no one can see you? Like when bank robbers are like, none of the cameras are on this spot.
Right.
I was. And why was I? Because I took the time to back out to let somebody else who was frustrated get through, and I was rewarded. Mm-hmm. And that's tough, because now if I don't get rewarded, I don't know what's going to happen. Right?
There's got to be a pot of boogs at the end of the rainbow for you.
Absolutely, there has to be.
I'm going to stop saying bugs. That's really gross. I really hate that word.
I am going to be, we are leaving. Mm-hmm. We are probably in the air right now to go to Macon, Georgia, Savannah, Charleston, South Carolina, West Palm Beach, and Daytona Beach, Florida, for the Fully Loaded tour with Bert Kreischer. I am looking forward to it. We did it last year, a couple things. It was so much fun. All of the people are in good spirits. The crowds are awesome. It is a really cool thing to come see. So if you can, please do that. I'm going to be in Detroit July 12th and 13th. I am going to be in Spokane, Washington at the Spokane Comedy Club September 13th and 14th. And then I am going to be the 20th and 21st in Tampa. Finally, I am going back to correct this buttfuckery that has taken place on my schedule. I'll be in Tampa, and then a ton other places. I'm going to be in Denver and Salt Lake City and Las Vegas and San Francisco and Sacramento and Columbus, Ohio.
Nice.
Yeah.
ChadDaniels.com/tour.
That's right.
So as Chad mentioned, I will be with him on the Fully Loaded tour this week as well. And then I will be in Charlotte and Raleigh in July, which is next month. How crazy is that?
Yeah, it is nuts.
We're in June. And then in September, I'm going to be in the Baltimore area at Magooby's. I will also be in Fort Collins. And then I will be in Omaha. And I do this every time. I get so close, I get it memorized, and then it goes away. I'll be in Omaha, Phoenix, Providence. Oh, what's the other one in November? Gosh darn. Dania Beach. And then I will be in Austin and San Antonio. I did it by the skin of my teeth. Nice. KelseyCook.com/tour for tickets. Yay. Sorry. That was a real stumble fuck through that.
Yeah. Let's skip the middle segment.
Oh, sure.
And let's just do questions.
Okay. Yeah. That sounds good.
Okay.
All right. And you know what? If we run out of questions,
I doubt we will.
I know we have some money, but we also got to start thinking about holding them for a Patreon too.
Oh, yeah. We do have a middle segment.
Yeah.
Oh, so when you pulled up your computer, I thought we didn't have one. And then I was pretending to make an executive decision.
Oh, I got you. I was just getting ready.
As if to say, hey guys, we are on top of things, but let's just move on.
I did go out of order. I apologize. So we, for the middle segment today, pulled another card from the We're Not Really Strangers deck. And this one asks, what would be the perfect gift for me?
So the perfect gift. Now, I have a question. Does it have to be realistic?
I don't think so, because the thing I thought about for you is not realistic.
Okay. Well, then it's just so easy, and everyone already knows what it is that's listening. I would cure dementia. I mean, that's
make me cry. That's so nice.
Well, but I can't.
I know.
Sorry. Sorry to let you know that, but that would of course be the perfect gift for you. And then obviously it would be the perfect gift for a bunch of other people too, but
Thank you. That was so nice.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, okay. Maybe people didn't see it coming.
I didn't see it coming.
Oh, okay. Well, good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, now mine feels like a bucket of shit. Mine's so
Hey,
silly.
want to know your rap song? I can fucking bring this right back down in the toilet. You don't worry about it.
Oh, I really love that. Thank you. That's a very nice gift.
Yeah, that would, I mean, honestly, I wish that I could do that. Obviously not just for you, but I mean, what a fucking nightmare of a disease.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. Mine is just, it's silliness.
Well,
it was
great.
going to be, I wish there was a machine that could make ice cream.
There's no silliness involved in this. I'm listening.
That could make ice cream and also like do what are they called? The hyper ice boots? The boots that you wear that are good for your circulation.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that what they're called?
I can't remember. They're leg sleeves. That's all I call them.
Okay. Some sort of machine that you could like sit in a chair and have like all of your joints taken care of because you're so active. And I feel like you are always benefiting from like a Theragun massage or like those sort of things. But that also
I'm falling apart.
would make you ice cream because you love ice cream so much.
Oh God, there's no silliness there at all. If my legs got massaged and then out from the waistband came a bowl of ice cream, oh my God.
It's like the Ninja has the creamy.
Yeah.
It's like if a creamy could be attached to a Theragun and hyper ice.
Jesus Christ. And then can I tell you something? If you invented that, I'd never forget you, thus curing dementia. We did it.
We did it.
All right, that's it, you guys. That's it. We've kind of come to it here. It's like when the guy sees the Gene Wilder movie and Gene Hackman movie on PCU at the end. So he can finally write his thesis.
This question segment reminds me of our anniversary gifts to each other. Chad called my favorite restaurant in Spokane and got the recipes for my favorite meals there, and then took them to a restaurant by the cabin and paid the chef there to teach his team how to recreate these recipes. And we went there for dinner, and I just thought we were going out for an anniversary dinner, and we walked into like a private part of the restaurant that was candlelit, and they presented all of these courses of my favorite meals that Chad had paid them to learn how to make.
The restaurant was Stella's. Ryan Carlson, the owner, and Justin Retzloff was the cook there.
And I got Chad a nice robe.
Still wear it. She's not still eating that fucking meal. I know that. Still wear the robe. What are you going to do? I'm going to go in the hot tub.
It was just the most like thoughtful, profound gesture gift you could give somebody.
Well, that's nice of you to say. Number 2's coming up, and there's no way I'm going to be able to follow it. That was really, I fucked up. I opened with my closer. I'm smarter than that. I really messed up.
No, anything. I'll be so happy.
Well, we'll see.
But
We'll see. Tune in. What will it be? I guess it will be August. So tune in August 7th to hear about what happened.
Yeah. It was a nice robe. It's just, it wasn't like...
It is
a nice
robe. See what I mean? I still have it.
There was a little bit of like thoughtful stuff behind it because it was the towel brand that you loved so much, and I wanted to see if they made a robe, but it's not the calling your girlfriend's favorite restaurant and having them recreate the meals. That was very, very special. So I'm just saying, you saying that your gift to me would be curing dementia is like very wonderful.
Well, it was also very funny because we had a conversation the night before our anniversary because I was panicking about my gift. Do you remember this? Because it wasn't a physical gift.
Yeah.
And so I was like, so like, what if I don't have a physical gift for you? And you were kind of like, well, I mean, I got you a physical gift. And then I started to panic even more. I'm like, well, it's not like, what if you don't like it? It's more of an experience. And she was like, I don't know what the fuck this means.
You were just.
Well, because I couldn't tell you what it was.
I know, it was funny. It was just the way you were saying it sounded like a kind of stereotypical dude who just is like, oh fuck, it's our anniversary. I'll grab flowers on the way home. Like, just the way you were talking about it, you like way misrepresented what you actually had done. So I was kind of like, oh, did he just like not?
I don't think I misrepresented it because to me, I was saying it's an experience. It's not a physical gift, which is exactly what it was.
Yeah.
But you were thinking,
yeah,
I was just saying that because I forgot.
Yeah, I think, the character Roy from The Office, it's like that has really been, that was such a perfect representation on the show of like that sort of dude that's like, well, what does he say? It's like the other women in the office are getting these really elaborate gifts and Pam's like, well, I just thought, he's like, you said you didn't want anything. She's like, yeah, well, I mean, but like something would have been nice. And he's like, well, the day's not over. When you get home, you're getting the best sex of your life. And she's like, oh my God. like that guy that's like, when you said it's an experience, I was like, oh no, like, have I completely like misread him? And this is going to be like something like that where it's like, fucking like, put your feet on my shoulders. Here we go.
Oh, yep. You know me, Mr. Confidence.
Anyway, just the way you were talking about it threw me for a second. And so I was completely blown away. It was
that's nice.
The nicest. But okay, should we do questions?
Yeah. Oh, I can't see it.
Oh, okay. As always, it's pretendproblemspodcast@gmail.com. If you would like to write in, have us give you advice to something you're going through, if you want to contribute to stuff we're talking about, we'd love that. So this first one is the email that I keep referring to.
The mail. It's the mail.
It's long, but I think it's a good one. So it's titled, "The ADHD is a gift narrative is horseshit, semicolon.
I'm putting my microphone down to listen to this.
Also, colon, Chad does ADHD understeering." Okay, they say, this is about episode Just Lick It. The email about adult...
Can I stop you just quickly?
Yeah.
Can you scroll down to the name?
Yes.
Any letters after it?
They have it. Oh.
Any letters before it? Yeah, all right. Can't wait to hear it. Steer away, bitch. Not you.
Okay. The email about adult giftedness sounds a lot like somebody trying to connect ADHD and autism, in parentheses neurodiversity, together with being gifted, so the narrative of being neurodivergent can be rebranded as a good thing. And that's a dangerous disservice to those that are actually debilitated by their neurodivergence. Frankly, this sort of ADHD can be a good thing narrative, just blows in a bad way, with or without salad tossing. Being gifted has absolutely nothing at all to do with having ADHD. Any bonus about being creative or having high intellect is in spite of having ADHD, not because of it. Presenting the idea that neurodiversity has superpowers or innate gifts that other people don't have is absolute horseshit.
Well, let's talk about Beethoven's music for a second.
Sure.
I mean, that's it. That's my whole point.
Well, he says, but don't listen to me. Here's a synopsis of a PhD that studies/treats ADHD and is an expert on the condition. So we found some of those letters that you were looking for.
Should have just scrolled to the middle.
But he refers back to the beginning and the end, and I just thought it was worth it. Okay, and is an expert on the condition. In Chapter 7 of When an Adult You Love Has ADHD, Russell Barkley, PhD, firmly rejects the notion that ADHD is a gift. He emphasizes that ADHD is a disability, and labeling it as a gift is misleading and does not honor the reality of those who are neurodiverse. According to Barkley, any talents or gifts present in individuals with ADHD exist despite their condition, not because of it.
So does that make me even better? It must. My gifts have beaten down ADHD my whole life.
These abilities often become more visible as individuals use them to compensate for the challenges imposed by ADHD.
What are you looking at like that
Whoa,
for?
that's interesting.
Not interesting at all.
You're so cute.
I mean,
It's not interesting at all.
it isn't interesting at all because it's saying like I'm overusing my gifts to compensate for ADHD.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can, if you're Superman, you're gonna fucking fly or walk. That's a dumb thing. Of course you're gonna fly. Why would you? Oh, I'm walking because I have ADHD. I wouldn't want to fucking shine my gifts in anybody's face.
No, I get it. I'm just saying I think that's true. I think that's really interesting.
I think it's fucking ridiculous. About to fly out of here right now. This is interesting.
Moving on, I think Chad displays classic ADHD understeer, whether he has ADHD or not. The concept of ADHD understeer in the context of emotional regulation can be explained by the difficulty that individuals with ADHD often experience in moderating their reactions and responses. In situations where someone with ADHD perceives another person as being wrong, they might struggle to control their emotional response, leading to impulsive or heated arguments. This reaction is akin to understeering and driving, where the vehicle doesn't respond as sharply as intended to steering inputs, causing it to continue on its current path despite attempts to change direction, like turning away from the argument. Similarly, individuals with ADHD might find it challenging to steer their emotional reactions in a more measured or intended direction once triggered. This difficulty in emotional regulation is a common challenge in ADHD, leading to responses that can seem disproportionate or overly confrontational. To the ADHDer, it can seem like this: I know I should let this go, but god damn it, I can't stop myself from saying something.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Because that's like exactly what we talked about at the beginning of the episode. That's why I thought this was so like.
Sometimes perfect. I talk about you in therapy.
You know you should turn from the path that leads to an outburst or snarky remark, but ADHD's impulse control issues paired with hyper focus on the source of discomfort makes turning away from confrontation very difficult. Add in the fact that proving yourself correct in an intellectual conflict gives the brain a dopamine reward, thus creating a cycle where challenging others actually gives the brain what it wants, regardless of the individual's desire to have less conflict and be less of a dick.
Now, when he said this is from chapter 7 of this guy's book, where does the quotation stop?
They don't have like a hard one. I don't think they put any of it in.
So it was just one paragraph?
Yeah, I'm not sure if his summation of the understeer is from that chapter.
I just need to know when I need to stop listening to this email.
You better quit.
Well, I mean, the understeer, sure, but who? I mean, maybe someone is just a dick.
Sure.
Maybe I can control it, and that makes me even a bigger dick that I do say it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm not willing to. I'll come back and revisit these after I talk to.
Sure. Yeah.
Old Floop-de-doo on August 2nd.
I have to finish the email.
Oh, it's not done?
No.
Oh.
So they're saying desire to have less conflict and be less of a dick. And then they say, example, I had ADHD understeer moment about that giftedness overlapping with neurodiversity narrative in the email read on the podcast and needed to write an email before even finishing the podcast or attempting to cool down and ask myself if this sort of email is going to be helpful or desired. Sigh. I'm a good example of not intending to be a dick, but being successful at it anyways. ADHD sucks, but I live with it because I've developed a habit of not killing myself. And then in parentheses, they put joke. Thanks. And then they say, Tyson, you can use my name if you want.
Oh, I was calling this person a boy the whole time. Sorry. Didn't know you were a girl.
Tyson?
Tyson?
Yeah.
Is a boy?
Yeah.
Oh, I know a Tyson that's a girl.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No, I've never heard of a Tyson that's a girl.
I don't think I've ever heard of Tyson that's a boy.
Really?
I believe that's true.
That is so interesting to me. I
Yeah.
had like many Tysons in my grade at school.
Oh, I just had one in my grade, and
It was a girl?
she was a gal. Yeah, still is.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Well, I beg your
person's
pardon
a
100 times. I didn't even know what to do. Or was I understeering and just trying to be a dick, Tyson? We don't know.
ADHD versus ADHD. What's going to happen?
We're never going to know. Well, Tyson's walking, and I'm going to fly. Getting you to shake your head is so funny to me. Okay, let me take this seriously for a second.
Okay.
Thank you for writing this in. I do feel that way sometimes. I do feel like, I don't know if I get a dopamine hit when I do it. I guess I don't really feel it. I just feel like there are times where I want to say something and I go, that's not right. And then my brain says that's not right. And then I guess I thought it was my body, but maybe it's another part of my brain that just goes, oh, we're doing it. We're fucking doing this. Mm-hmm. I don't care if you shut your mouth. This phrase will break right through your teeth. So I do feel that. And I mean, I also agree. I don't think ADHD is I think that you probably do have other things and they are compensating because you don't want the, I don't want to say broken, but you don't want the neurodivergent part of your brain to win.
Right.
You want the part that is seemingly steady,
right,
to control your life and to steer your life.
Yeah.
And so there are some good things in here. And I do recognize some of these things in myself, but we'll just have to see. We'll have to see what the old golden goose says. The oracle. We'll have to see what the oracle says. Is there a spoon? Says. I don't know.
Yeah. Thank you for taking the time to write all that in.
That is very nice.
Yeah. Okay. This next one is a short one because we're already over 50 minutes. Can you believe it?
I can.
This one is titled Kelsey's Madison Special. They say, when and where will we be able to watch this? I was at the show. I didn't kiss your hand and want to watch it again. Thank you very much. So it is in the process of being edited right now. It's almost done getting edited. And then it will be pitched to streaming services to hopefully have one of them buy it. So I don't know yet, but stay tuned and think good thoughts for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's a good one.
Also, I don't think I've said it on here. Maybe I have, but The Hustler hit 3 million views on YouTube.
Fuck yeah, it did.
It was really exciting. So thank you to anybody who's watched it. And
3 million views on YouTube is outrageous.
Thank you.
Yeah, it truly is outrageous.
Thank you. Yeah, so we're very fortunate that we live in a time where even though that one did not get bought by a streamer, it still got out to people on YouTube, and that was really wonderful. So I'll keep you guys posted on the next one, though. Okay, we'll do one more, and then we'll wrap it up. But Patreon coming soon, and we'll keep tackling questions there.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so they say, hi, Kelsey and Chad. I've followed Kelsey's work for a little while and then discovered Chad through the show. As great as your specials are, for me, the natural exchanges you have on here are even funnier and also heartfelt, so thank you. Okay, on to the question. Something that happened in my last relationship continues to bother me. Like many couples, my then partner and I would sometimes shower together. This was all well and good, even though only one of us could fit under the hot water at a time, but ran into a snag when she asked if she could pee in the shower that we were sharing. I said I'd rather she not do that as it made me uncomfortable. This was the wrong answer. She became upset that I was limiting her, that I was putting up a wall between us, and so on until I caved and said it was fine. Shower peeing became the new normal, and while it didn't bother me so much anymore, the fact that the boundary I tried to set was so immediately and ferociously dismantled still does. I know shower peeing might seem like a strange place to draw the line, especially now that butt stuff has gone mainstream. That's such a funny phrase.
Yeah, no kidding. Get with the program, dude. You're not going to let me pee in here?
Butt stuff has gone mainstream. But again, it was more that I didn't feel heard or respected. To me, this was just another example of her getting everything she wanted and me having to bend to facilitate. What do you think? Pretend problem or real problem? Thanks. And I won't read your name because you didn't specify. I feel like when it comes to bodily fluid, that's a real, like, I think if that's something you're not comfortable with, I feel like that's okay to draw that boundary.
It's a fucking real problem.
That's a real problem.
Absolutely. First of all, pee in anything. Have you ever walked through a city and someone's peed on a sidewalk and it's summertime and it smells so much like pee? You're in a fucking hot shower that's steaming and now you want the piss smell to grab on to the steam and hit you in the face? Pass.
Yeah.
Pass. And if she didn't want an answer, she shouldn't have asked the question.
Yeah.
Because she should have just peed and saw what you were going to do with it other than ask you. And then when you say no, throw a fit. Like you're putting a wall up between. Bitch, I wish I could put a wall between us. You're pissing in the shower for fuck's sake.
I wish I could put a stall between us.
God damn. We're in a bathroom. It's not like the shower was in the living room, right? Where she would have to walk and get all the floors wet to go to a toilet.
Yeah.
I don't care about peeing in the shower in general.
Right.
I mean, I used to pee in the shower in the morning, and we had one bathroom when I was growing up, and everyone had to get ready at one time. And so a lot of times my mom would be like getting ready for work in the mirror, and I would be showering. She would have to come in when I was in the shower.
Really?
Because that's the only way it would work.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And I would pee in the shower, and I just hear her go, Jesus Christ. And it was fucking brutal. Because when you're a kid, you're out doing shit. You don't think about water intake.
Oh,
so it's like brown tar piss.
Tart.
Yeah,
Tart little Chad.
Tart little Chad. And dude, she would get so fucking mad. And rightfully so.
Yeah.
Man, oh man, that brings it back. But that's another reason not to pee in the shower with someone. If they don't want you to. If a lot of people like to get peed on. And guess what? I'm not kink shaming. I'm for it. I don't even know if I wouldn't like it.
Yeah. We haven't tried that.
Not sure.
I don't get anything out of that. To me, like pee isn't a sexual thing.
You wouldn't want to pee on me?
If that was like a kink, if you were like, I am really into that, I wouldn't not do it.
I don't know if I'm into it. It's like when you have a little kid. How do you know if they're good at piano? You got to buy a piano.
I wouldn't be like, ew, I'm not going to pee on you. I would pee on you if you wanted that. But I'm just saying for me, like if you were like, do you want me to pee on you? I'd be like, I'm good. Like that doesn't do anything.
I'm not going to ask you. I'm just going to do it. I'm teasing. Yeah. So I think this is a real problem. And I think that if you're going to ask a question, and this doesn't have to do with peeing in the shower, that has to do with anything in a relationship. If you're going to take the time to ask the question, then you need to value the answer and you need to take a look at it and maybe figure out a compromise, or maybe you just don't get to do that thing if it is that big of a problem for the other person.
Totally. I mean, the only way that this is a pretend problem is because you guys aren't together anymore and you don't have to deal with it now. So great. But for you to feel justified, I think that's a real problem. Absolutely.
If you see a man walking down the street going, God damn it, that's who she's dating now. And she lives in that neighborhood. So steer clear. And
they have yellow feet.
Yuck.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for writing in. pretendproblemspodcast@gmail.com. And we'll talk to you next time.
Shitting in the shower? No problem.